Welcome to Ignorance Unleashed with your host Salvatore Cavalieri. Step into Salvatore's bold and unapologetic take on today's news and its impact on real estate. In just 10 minutes, enjoy no-nonsense insights with a dash of humor and absurdity. Approved by his psychiatrist and wife because they agree he needs this outlet.
Hey. So today's podcast is going to be about how my job sometimes becomes helping people from themselves, really, from themselves. Okay. So it is very interesting how people think. Okay. So in my world, when I am working with my clients, you have basically two worlds. You have the tenant side of things, and of course you have the landlord side of things. Okay. And interesting enough, the side that provides the most heartburn, for that I have coffee generally, but today is tea because I'm switching to tea today. I had a cold over the week, so I'm taking tea now. But I already had my big doses of coffee. But anyway, going back to the topic, it is interesting to know that between landlords and tenants, landlords are the one that give me the most heartburn in general. Okay? I won't say names, okay, of course, to defend the innocent, okay, until proven guilty. But it seems very interesting how landlords fight with each other, okay? And they want to make decisions that really hurt them. And, this is where we come to help. Anyway, so for the weekend, I am representing a landlord, and he wanted to talk to the tenant. And this is the problem. This is a problem because most landlords do not have training, do not know that sometimes tenants are very sharp and they may be asking questions that they can get them in trouble. The landlord can get them in trouble. So it's interesting enough just to see that I had to walk with that, explain the reasons to the landlord that the best thing is to leave the professional to work out the wrinkles, to work out the details, to work out those items. Otherwise, he can get in trouble. Okay? Nowadays, in this litigious society, you have to ask, you have to listen very carefully, otherwise you get in trouble really quickly. Okay? That was very interesting. And what surprised me the most is that this particular property, has been in the market for a while. I'm going to put a link to what's going on with rentals in Florida or in the United States in general, but at least in Florida, there is a lot of rentals, all rented, and the reasons, I will mention a few moments, but this specifically podcast is regarding as how can I protect people from themselves, and then constantly they cannot do this thing, and I have to do this dance, Here is a landlord. He has a property for a period of time that hasn't been rented. Now we have a qualified tenant. There is we made an application, credit and everything checks really well, and this landlord asking more troublesome questions directly wanted to do that. The landlord at the end understood. He channeled those questions through me, and I got the answers for him. Okay? So it's extremely important to point out that sometimes, when we are business people or we are doing real estate, sometimes we get ourselves in trouble by doing things against ourselves. Okay? Now, so today is the beginning of December, and the real estate market has slowed down dramatically in Central Florida and other parts as well. Reasons? Well, back during the pandemic, in post-pandemic time, a lot of new construction was started, And now it's being finished, and we have a flood of new properties, either single family homes, townhouses, and a lot of apartments available. And all of them are competing for fewer people that are moving in. Right after the pandemic, a lot of other states had a flood of people leaving the state because they couldn't go to shop, they couldn't do anything, and they didn't like that you locked down. And in the aftermath of the lockdown in the economy, and of course, what did they do? They went to Florida. Okay. So what happened? Builders saw that and started building. But now, a lot of the people that moved to Florida, at least a portion of that, I've seen them going out. So people go from North Carolina post-pandemic, and then they didn't like something here. Typically, their complaint is the weather, which I find weird. Anyway, maybe you live in the mountains and you like to be there between the bushes, and it's clearly nicer than being here, which is mostly sunny, okay, and hot. So I went back. So we have a lot of this inventory sitting, fewer applicants, and also the time of the year. Most of the people move during the summer months because, if you have kids, those are the months that you're in and out of schools, changing, stuff like that. So it's a lot of inventory sitting. There are great homes right there that have 30, 60, 90 days without renting, and with price reductions. So I'm going to put the link to that so you're going to be able to see it and digest it. Now, is this something to panic? No. If you are in the business, in the real estate business, in the property management, or in the rental business, just for the short term, you may be hurt. But if you're in the long run, so it may take longer to lease. Maybe if you're going to do an increase of rent, maybe it's going to be minimum increase of rent. But you need to look at the long term. The real estate is a long-term game. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. Okay? And in real estate, you're not going to make the money in the rentals, in the actual cash flow of that. You're going to make the money on the equity appreciation. Okay? So I have a book coming up about that theory, about the importance of the equity appreciation, but we'll talk about it in another opportunity. So we have a lot of inventory sitting, fewer people moving in from other states, okay, and then inside, people not moving that much, okay, because school season is in full function. So if you tell your family you're going to move now, mid-year, and change your school, it's going to create some kind of friction at home. Someone's not going to be happy. Clearly, the kid is not going to be happy, and the wife too. So they're staying put. So in terms of investing, this represents opportunity because there's a lot of properties out there that someone is hurt. Some landlords are hurt. Some landlords probably, they have a cash flow deficiency. They cannot stomach that. They don't think that there are other benefits to a loss that they can take off from their taxes. Of course, I'm not a CPA. Consult with a CPA, please. That's the disclaimer of today. Okay, like everything. So the market is low. Okay, so there are greater properties out there to be picked up. Okay, sellers are being more reasonable. Okay, so you can pick up a property. Yeah, okay. You may lose some cash flow. Okay, great. So what? It's going to go up. The tendency, the trend for rent is always on the go up. Always on the go up. And I keep saying this to the investors. And I keep telling them that they just don't need to concentrate on cash flow. Cash flow is pretty nice. It pays mostly all of the expenses and mortgages and stuff like that, and real estate taxes and all that. But is that all? Really? Equity appreciation is way more important when you play the long-term game. That you're not an opportunistic person that just trying to make quick money in less than a year. That kind of people usually, that investors usually do not end up well. On a daily basis, I get texts or a phone call from investors desperate to find the next deal for a quick money. I think I could have made, hundreds of thousands of dollars just by just collecting $1 from all these opportunistic people that call. it's not my market. I just don't work with them because real estate is a long-term game. So rental market has slowed down. This is a cyclical situation. It has happened in the past when you have a lot of inventory sitting. The inventory sitting is going to be eaten. It's going to happen. It's going to be, the properties are going to go into some kind of hands eventually. Okay, how long? Who knows? Maybe a year, 2 years. But then the trend up in prices, rent prices, and prices is going to keep going. It has always happened. You may have a big deal, but the trend is always up. So, with that said, the message of today is how investors and landlords, they hurt themselves. So, what they need to do is to educate themselves, listen carefully to the ones that been doing this for so many years, and be coachable, be open to understand what is really going on. Okay, so do not concentrate on cash flow all the time. Okay, it really hurts you. Okay, with that said, provide comments and your thoughts, and of course, if you provide comments and thoughts, be on the constructive side and also provide a solution. With that said, make it a great day. Take care.